Antonio Daniels, former member of the Washington Wizards, NBA champion, 13 years in the NBA. Now he's an analyst for Thunder Live, and he's on SiriusXM. Good morning, Antonio.
How are you doing, buddy?
Good morning, fellas. I'm awesome. How are you guys?
What is up?
What was the
great.
atmosphere like there on Saturday night when Cupcake returned?
I don't know. I probably had the same atmosphere you guys had because I was at home.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my atmosphere at home, it was nice and was quiet. Enjoyed the game, though. Heck of a game.
What were you expecting? What were you expecting going into that game?
Exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Exactly what happened. Yeah, you expect boos because the people of Oklahoma City like what Kevin Durant did. And, I mean, I get it. It's he made a decision that he felt like was best for him and his family. That's what free agency is all about. Being free to make that decision. But they weren't just hurt because they lost a heck of a basketball player. They were hurt because they lost a guy that was involved in the community with his head, with his heart, and also with his wallet. So if Kevin Durant was a jerk and he left and went on, it's like, oh, well, you know what, Golden State, you can have him. He's a good basketball player, but that's it. But when you lose a heck of a basketball player and a heck of a man in the process, that's where the hurt comes in.
Were they truly close friends, or because this hostility that's kind of coming out, I don't know, it's kind of telling.
Yes, I mean telling as far as what though?
I don't know. I got the sense that they were so close, but maybe they weren't. Maybe they weren't as close as we all thought.
It's weird because I know Russ was hurt because Kevin Durant didn't even call him and tell him, you know what, I'm going to Golden State. And I don't know if KD felt like bad for leaving and going to Golden State after they had just lost to them in the 7-game series in the Western Conference Finals. But I know friends of mine when I was younger, if I left and went to the club and didn't tell them I was going to the club, they were upset.
Right.
Let alone a guy actually switching teams.
Right.
Switching teams and saying, you know what, I'm not playing with you anymore, and not giving me a call and letting me know. When we've been through fires together, we've been through playoff series, we have been through finals, we've been through Western Conference Finals, we have defended each other on and off the floor, and then when it comes to the moment of truth, you don't even have the decency to call me and say, hey, you know what, look, I'm skipping town. So, I mean, if I'm Russ, I'm a little disturbed myself.
Right.
Did you expect the chippiness? Because it got a little chippy there with Roberson and Durant, and, of course, KD was talking a little smack with Russ. But you expected that, though, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. You expect all of that. Everything that happened with Russ talking to KD and with Andre talking, getting into it with KD, that's something to be expected, in a game of that magnitude. Watching it, it really felt like a playoff game. It felt like a elimination game, a game 7. Not, game 50 or 55 throughout the course of the season.
Now, is this going to be sort of the new environment when these two teams play? This is not just a one-and-done thing, right? This kind of emotion, this is how it's going to be as long as these two guys are with their respective teams, right?
Well, I'm sure. But, eventually, Oklahoma City is going to have to beat Golden State. Eventually, that's what it's going to come to. Because you talk about rivalries within the NBA, and a rivalry is not a rivalry until someone else wins. When I was in Washington, we used to always talk about, Cleveland and Washington as a rivalry. Well, it wasn't a rivalry because we never beat them.
Right.
They beat us 3 years in a row. So we have to get to that point where we beat them. Once you beat, they can kind of take you serious. But as long as, Steph Curry and Draymond Green and all these guys are wearing cupcake shirts after the game and laughing and joking around and all this kind of stuff, every game thus far this year has been, 16 points or higher. So it comes a point where they have to take you serious before it becomes a true rivalry.
All right. What about, speaking of taking serious, do you they start so 5 teams, particularly home, and it seems like they're the real deal.
I mean, do I buy what they're doing? Of course I do. I've always been a fan of Scott Brooks as a coach. The way he coached in Oklahoma City as well. And then when you get, 1, with the Wizards, you get healthy, and 2, younger guys to buy in and improve. So the healthy part with John Wall and Bradley Beal, obviously that helps a ton. But when you get a guy like Otto Porter to step his game up and begin playing like he's playing now and to become a legitimate threat night in and night out, that gives John Wall and Bradley Beal that much more space to operate.